universal subconscious mind, God, the all-pervading and divine intelligence that exists in all things, all places, all creatures, that which brings this conscious experience in this day, I ask that this one spirit serve the highest good of all finite creatures, all humanity, through the light of love. What messages does the universal subconscious mind have for us on this day? What messages does universal subconscious mind have for us today? Tower. Life change. Immediate, explosive, and fast. What else? What other messages? Nine of Cups was here yesterday, followed by Death card, New Beginnings. What else? What other messages does universal subconscious mind have today? The Knight of Wands, Four of Cups. That was wanting to come out, as staying there at the bottom of the deck. I could sense it. Two more cards. What messages does universal subconscious mind have for us on this day? These are two cards, let's take them. Death of the Ego. Victory with stable achievements through a third party. Collaboration, birth, celebration of something new. In the center of the deck resides the Knight of Wands. This is the energy for advancement. And the portal for today serves as the Three of Cups. Let's distribute some wealth to these cards, shall we? Let's give some energy in the form of golden bars. Let's start first and foremost with the death of the ego, followed by new beginnings, followed by significant immediate life change, wish fulfillment, resolution of family issues, collaboration with a third party, energy to move forward and advance, victory. Let's see where the rest lands. Almost went off the table with the tower. Same there. Lots of activity. And resistance. Let's do some dousing. So you can see that portal wants to come my way. All right, let's shake things up a bit. Now let's see. Whatever this pours today, it's showing resistance, but you just go right there and claim it. So let's shed some light on this now. Shedding some light on this day. The portal for today is the Three of Cups. Anytime we're working with cups, we're working with the emotions of life. And in this particular case, it means the birth of something new. It's a celebration. You can see there's a lot of feminine energy, three women holding their cups up in the form of celebration. And this is something new. So if you can imagine something that brings you joy and happiness, perhaps it's imagining caring for a child, issues of child-parent relations, issues from the past that may be pain-inducing, you're working through them with this card in a positive way. It could also represent a common project motivated by feelings and not just out of interest, be it something material, something that you wish to manifest, but rather genuine interest. And that's where the emotions shine. If we're looking at something that's material, that's more in alignment with the pentacles or the coins. That's the portal for today. What was underneath, speaking of pentacles, was the Six of Coins, and underneath that, the 10 of Coins. And underneath that, the Hermit. So it's saying something in the effect of, if you want to manifest the material things in life, you have to start with the subconscious, with the mind. But regardless of where you begin, rest assured that life change is here with the Tower. And the Tower is the 16th major arcana. It's a very powerful card. It's an immediately responding card. So it's not like you're going to be waiting for these changes or this monumental change to occur. This is something that happens fast, comes in swiftly. You can imagine these folks have been waiting in the tower, maybe thinking they're going to be there forever. However, the top has blown off, and that's from the lightning bolt from the hermit himself. The star, all wish fulfillment, standing strong in its position and hitting this tower, coming from the lantern of the hermit. And so this signifies the breaking up of solid foundations, solid structures, whatever towers from your past that no longer serve you, they're breaking up. You're getting free from confinement. You have a sudden breakthrough after long preparations. This could also signify a sparkling sexual encounter, and success lies in the simplicity and modesty of your actions. The message that comes from the tower above all else is return to the solid ground of reality. How do you ground yourself? Go back to what you do best. It may be simple, but it's what is appreciated most. Do those things, and you'll find that the tower comes to serve you, and it won't be such a scary change after all. Next up in the reading, we have the Nine of Cups, and this was here yesterday, showing its face again. Collectivity is the main meaning of this card. If you're imagining a group or organization working harmoniously with you and everyone finding his or her proper place, accepting your role in a social environment, you can expect happiness and your wishes coming true. It comes from the ease of just sinking into it, sinking into that security, knowing that you belong. Look at how well this individual belongs, just sinking into that position of security emotionally. And that's what you get with the Nine of Cups. Next up in today's reading, this card has shown up now, I want to say 4 or 5 days in a row, and it represents new beginnings. It's often one of the most feared cards in the deck. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. It's the truth. This here in the background, if you look carefully, you'll see a sunrise, which is to say, so long as you see yourself as pure spirit, whatever failures, whatever flaws you may perceive in having, they're temporary in comparison to the oneness with God that is within you that expresses all things. Come to understand that, and you will be showered with abundance through this card, which is the greatest strength of renewal you can find in the deck. Often folks are fearful of this. They think it's some sort of message of death itself. But we know that this is an impermanent thing. As soon as you leave your body, your spirit leaves the body, your body becomes property of the earth and starts its return. This is an everlasting cycle. You're either born of woman or you're born from within the second time through your life. This is what it is like to be Christian, to be Christ-like, to be anointed. Christ means the anointed one. Jesus of Nazareth was born a second time in his life through the Father from within. And this is what death speaks to. It's a second birth. As you can see in the background, you have this Hierophant who's sending a prayer, paying respects, yet at the same time, looking forward to the sunrise. The definition that comes from Yoav ben Dov regarding the death card. It states, if you're imagining the end of some difficulty, that time has come. Imagine cutting off past influences or attachment to dominant figures in your life, the demons of your past, the ghosts of your past. If you can imagine giving up the superfluous and keeping only the essential, in other words, less is more, whatever is perceived as being taken away, it's simply to make room for something incredibly good. Understand that. There's always a silver lining. This is the disintegration of the old, and it's making room for the new, as I said. And the big message from the death card is give up what is over. So anytime you see the signs that tell you let it go, just let it go, and this energy will flow in your favor. Next up in the center of the card reading, we have the Knight of Wands. This card as well has been showing up for the last few days. If you're imagining a change of direction, following your urges and your passions, there may be a perceived temporary stop, but there's still energy and a desire to advance. What we're talking about here is motivation and conviction. Conviction comes fueled by faith, which is there's no perceived stopping. There's no perceived running out of gas. There's no perceived running out of energy. You're here for as long as God presents you with consciousness every day. And so long as God presents you with consciousness, you see yourself as an instrument of him. And thus all the things that used to be barriers or obstructions, they move out of the way. You don't have to rush or push or move with any sort of urgency because you know you're here for the long haul. Let everything else that sees itself as finite crumble. It'll run out of energy. Everything, all the apparitions of your past will run out of energy so long as you have this determined way of thinking. And the Knight of Wands isn't so much about thinking as it is just stating its position. Look at the pyramids in the background. That's the treasure within. And the Knight of Wands is just, for lack of better words, chilling, and the horse is kind of bucking and showing its power, and you can see this Knight of Wands has a shortened stick because there's no need to have one like the Hermit. It's to say all of my strength is within. So that's the Knight of Wands standing in the center of the reading today. Next up, we have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups speaks to family. It's a strong family-based card. You can see this individual is being offered the Ace of Cups. He doesn't want it. He's leaning against a tree with his arms crossed. He's being stubborn, doesn't want to give up which is not within reach. These three cups that are at a distance just cannot be obtained, at least in the mind of this individual. So this represents something based in family. So if you're imagining a collective of people, family, community, and working through a history and a sense of belonging, if you can imagine belonging and not being at a distance, you have activated the positivity of this card. It represents the commitment to a group. So even if the group may seem to be at a distance, you are communicating with your own self and choosing thoughts that lead to feelings that speak of your oneness with them. And this Ace of Cups is a romantic offer trying to distract you, but you are focused. So it can also be a card of emotional focus. You are committing to this group at the price of giving up personal interests. And the personal interest would be romantic love, could be the beginning of something new in an emotional way. You're not giving up that which you see here in the distance. This is sacrosanct to you, here with the Four of Cups. Next up, the second to last card in this reading today is the Ten of Swords, which I have not seen in a while. And all around, you'll see folks say, this is the only card that you can't say anything good about. I disagree. Let's tie this in with the Death card and see what it means. You see an individual lying on the ground, 10 swords running down the spine. It's like acupuncture. This person and whatever their ego represented to them is now dead. So this is the beginning of a rebirth, beginning of the second sun. And this can happen with any human being, regardless of your biological sex. You are letting go of the initial belief systems and your attachments, all the things that held you down, and you're releasing yourself as spirit so that this doesn't even matter. And I love looking at this in an inverse way. It's one of the only cards that I look at inverse aside from the Tower, which we also have today. Looking at these cards inverse gives you a lot of insight because you can see someone's just kind of being pinned to heaven, whereas these folks are trying to get there by flying. This one is just being pinned there to say, listen, whatever's holding you down shall lift you up. And so this is a very powerful card, image-wise. What you see can be disturbing, but if you're looking at the body as a finite thing in comparison to your one spirit, this should not be fear-inducing at all. So this could represent exhaustion. You could be in a complex situation with many conflicting interests. This could be a long battle without any clear outcome that you've been in. You may have found yourself needing an ally who will help attack this problem from a different direction, and ultimately it leads to failure. All of these types of plans, any attempt to plan and thwart something, because this is the last of the emotions being expressed, rather the last of the intellectual, because it's the 10. And when you have a 10, it's the end of a cycle. So you've exhausted the intellect, and the intellect now gives up. And by doing that, you get this renewal. Some third party comes in and says, don't worry, there's victory here. Allow me. This is a third party intervening with the Three of Swords. A lot of folks talk about this being a betrayal. Don't think about those things because it has nothing to do with the good, nothing to do with reality. You want to see yourself succeed, and it's here. You just have to imagine it by getting out of the way of whatever you were in the past. This represents the reading from today. These are the cards that have come to you, and may this path, starting with the portal with the Three of Cups, serve in activating the highest good of yourself and others by removing obstacles, reworking the foundations, letting go, and ultimately discovering your victory. Thank you for listening and being here with me, and God bless you on this day. Until next time, be well. Faith is an imaginative work. There is no cost. Dream big like the mustard seed. Imagine the good. Be like God. Be His instrument.